This could be the office of any new company or startup. A big bright space, fun music and young employees. But it's allegedly a scam call centre in Eastern Europe. I'm about to speak to the man who filmed that vision. He was once a scammer working for a fake crypto trading platform, ripping off Australians. He's agreed to speak, but he's hiding his identity because he's scared of retribution from the criminals who run these syndicates.
Structured 20 Australians in a day. You tell the people what they want to hear.
Do you feel guilty about the people you scammed?
When I get to find out about this is what is going on, yeah, guilty conscience.
Initially drawn in by good money, Mark, which isn't his real name, spent a few years working at the call centre before leaving this year. He says Australians were often the #1 target.
But if you get an Australian client, these people have money.
You've got all the emails from your communications. Back in Australia, 82-year-old Peter Bulle is the sort of person this scammer would target. He lost more than $2 million after receiving an email with a fake news article endorsing a crypto platform. By the time he realised it was a scam, it was too late.
Completely gone. All my money gone, all my crypto gone, everything gone.
Soon after, Mr. Bulle fell victim to another scam.
There was a girl who I got to know online. It looked like all genuine. And then I said, look, I lost a lot of money in crypto. And she said, oh, I'm playing in crypto too. And I think it's an account which is 100% safe. Then everything stopped. The URL was changed. I lost all my money.
Peter's case is a traditional pig butchering scam. Now, a pig butchering scam is a love scam or a relationship scam that starts on WhatsApp or Telegram or Signal. Essentially, someone reaches out and starts a conversation, and then that leads into building a relationship. It's not always a romantic relationship, and then that person then introduces the idea of cryptocurrency trading and investment.
Stories like this are all too familiar to investigator Ken Gamble, who runs a scam recovery company.
These are criminal corporations, so they're set up just like a real company. They have a large amount of staff, they have a HR department.
Mr. Gamble says fraudsters target Australians because they're perceived to be wealthy, open and trusting of strangers. And compared to countries like America, he says scammers see Australia as an easy target.
The US have traditionally gone after fraudsters, and they have successfully prosecuted and extradited hundreds of fraudsters from overseas who have committed these types of crimes against Americans. So most of the call centres around the world have America on the do not call list. Traditionally, they just don't call Americans because of the fear of having the FBI come after them. But there's no such fear in Australia because traditionally the AFP have never gone after these scammers.
Since I've been in the industry, they've never targeted American. They saw that Australia do not do much because this industry has been in Australia for a very long time.
Mr. Gamble says overseas scammers are working 2 steps ahead of law enforcement.
These scams have been able to grow to epidemic proportions because of the inaction of the government and the inaction of law enforcement. This is a war against scammers. We need to go over to these countries and arrest these people, dismantle their operations, disrupt their money laundering networks around the world.
The AFP says they've started doing just that, launching Operation Firestorm, which is disrupting syndicates in Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe. It's part of the Joint Policing Cybercrime Coordination Centre, or JPC3.
Through our international network, we're able to work with the law enforcement and international partners within those jurisdictions.
The ABC spoke to Detective Inspector Nakli Sukar from the Australian Federal Police Cybercrime Command and asked how many scammers had been arrested in offshore call centres that target Australians.
In terms of arrests and disruption activities and quantifying that, we don't have those exact figures. However, we can tell you that given Firestorm is in its infancy, our intent is certainly to undertake in resolution activity across the globe, hopefully commencing in the near future.
I don't believe the JPC3 has the capacity to handle the amount of fraud that's coming into Australia still on a daily basis. I believe that a national cyber fraud task force should be put together to focus on this internationally.
The Australian government has introduced draft legislation that will impose fines of up to $50 million on banks, telcos and social media companies that fail to act on fraudulent schemes that fleece their customers.
They have to find out a lot more detail before you do anything.
But why haven't they learned?
For Peter Boulay, the damage has already been done.
The most difficult is the person next to me, who cannot relate to all this and is thinking. And that makes it hard.
Taken a toll.
It takes a toll.
Most of the victims of these crimes are never ever recovered because they cannot recover. It's a soul-destroying crime.
A crime affecting thousands of Australians every year.